What's happening, people? Welcome back to another episode of Red Divided. Myself, Tommy.
You got Eddie here.
You got your boy Ham. What's
No
happening?
AKA.
What's happening?
We're not AKA.
I
Okay,
haven't done an AKA all season, bro.
And we're
But
missing it.
Mr. Happy, Mr. Happiness, Happiness,
yeah, I'm still,
no.
bro. We won, bro. We're top of the table.
No,
I'm
I'm just
still
saying,
happy, bro.
innit? But you're not adding it. Not every week. You haven't added
Nah, I didn't
any.
add nothing today because I was gonna say unhappy Ham because you lot won in it, but I'm actually not unhappy, so I don't want to say unhappy Ham. I'm not happy that you guys won, but I'm not unhappy as a whole, innit?
You just want us to lose forever, shit.
No, my name, bro.
No, I never want you guys to win, innit? It's just a fact. Same way you never want us to win. So
you know when Peter was small. You just can't.
nah, not even, bro.
You just come up
Not
with
even.
4-0 defeat to Brentford.
No, I don't give a damn, bro. I was expecting a 5-0 defeat today.
Anyway, there's only one place to start, and that's Old Trafford. The game just finished. I can't lie, the last 10 minutes, like, bro, I was sweating that last 10 minutes, man. I was sweating because we put so much in the game. I just like when we went 1-0 up, I just thinking, and obviously because United's got that record at half time, every time we're ahead at half time, we've never lost at Old Trafford. So I think, okay, minimum, let's get a draw. Then when we went 2 up, I was a bit scared that we scored that second goal too early. I mean, there's still a lot of game left. But yeah, now we put it through. In terms of like just analyzing the game itself, before that, okay, the starting lineup, I was happy at the starting lineup because I think we come on here, we touch on the fact that I want players to play based on merit. I don't want players to play because of their name. Aaron Maguire's performance has been poor, so rightly so he's been taken out of the team. Obviously with Ronaldo, I think he's taking him out of the team is more for like tactical reason than his actual like performances. But bro, I don't care. Like as I said, in terms of the managers' like decisions, I'm not questioning any of his decisions because we've got to back him. He's got to put his own idea forward. And today he's worked out in terms of how we play today, the effort the boys put in, like they'll cover like literally everyone was covered the whole ground. Like you can tell how hard the team has worked when the two centre backs are pulling up for cramps at the end of the game. That just epitomized.
Why are centre halves pulling up with crap anyway?
Bro,
how much
like,
running that they really do?
You can tell how the hard work that they put into the whole game. Yeah.
Maybe Martinez, Varane's on. Varane's
on
must be fitness.
Them man ain't fit, are they, man? Them man ain't fit.
So,
maybe Martinez because he moved. Across the back line, but Varane didn't.
Whether they're like in terms of like our actual team, we don't ever run this much, so that's why it's probably hard to sustain such level. And
it's a shock to the system.
Yeah, they don't run this much. You know what I mean? So the players don't normally run this much. So I was like, to be honest with you, I was very wary because I didn't think we were to sustain it for like 90 minutes, but we didn't anyway. So we had our moments where we just camped at the back. But look, we done well. We got the 3 points. I didn't think we played a great Liverpool side. Well, I'm still not going to take credit away from like United, but I just think Liverpool are far from the Liverpool that we knew. And when I saw Liverpool starting lineup, I saw the 3 in the middle of the park. I think, you know what? If United really get the ideas together, they can really get something here. When I saw the 3 in the middle of the park, I just not keen. Like it shouldn't be playing Milner and Henderson together. Both of them shouldn't be in the starting lineup. I just don't think you should play them two. But yeah, we got the victory, and that's the most important thing for me, man. What are you saying, Adam?
Yeah, happy boy. To be honest, I'd already like resigned to losing this match. It's one of those ones I said, first 3 games we've lost, first 3 games we built from there. But I was happy with our performance. I thought the boys put in a shift. The back line, I was very happy with them. Both fullbacks. I think Lassia generally throughout the game, I was really happy with him. He reminds me a bit of me. Like, you don't need to be great technically, but he puts in that hard work. You get me? He just puts in that hard work and doesn't stop, which I'm very appreciative of. Darlow was very good at right back, and I don't envy having to mark Diaz one-on-one when that boy is running at you, it is not an easy job.
Yeah.
And I think he did really well, especially in the first half. He did really well in combating him. Obviously the wingers came back and like helped out the fullbacks do their job. Yeah, and everyone put in a shift. Fernandez played well. Sancho, Rashford, even Martial when he came on. I think the only worry I had was
what's
when I
going
saw
on here?
Fred.
What, Stormzy on Sky Sports? Sorry, come
Straight
on.
up.
Yeah, it's just about the interviewing him right now.
Bro, but this is a big win for United, boy. Bringing out all the big boys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, sorry, Andy. Sorry, I was just shocked to see him.
Yeah, so when I saw Fred coming, I was like, okay, hopefully we'll be able to maintain the same kind of football. And obviously, when Ronaldo and Cole came on, I was like, I'm hoping this doesn't distort things.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Liverpool, they still remain a better team than us, but I don't think they were up to scratch today. I think where we can be got at is, when you pass the ball from left to right and right to left, we tend to leave a gap.
Yeah.
Especially at right back, we always lose our right back. But Liverpool, instead of making that direct pass to the man that's in space, they'll do it in 2 passes.
Okay.
Or they'll pass it short and it'll come back. And I'm like, okay, your opportunity is gone. Because actually, I do think they could have punished us so many times, but their passes weren't making it. People weren't controlling the ball properly. So I think it was one of those situations where they played lesser than they could have, and we played better than we have been. So it just worked out for us. But it's definitely an improvement. Definitely enjoyed Sancho's goal. Enjoyed Rashford's goal. When I saw VAR, I was like, God, please, God, please.
I'll be honest, I actually thought it was offside, but then
I thought it was offside as well.
Yeah, but it looked similar to that. We'll talk about Arsenal in a bit. But Arsenal's first goal, when I first thought Ben White was offside too, but he was onside. So initially I thought Rashford was offside, but I was more impressed by his finishing than anything, because you know what Rashford is like in front of goal. So I thought he would have tried to open up his body, but for him to go near post, then that's brilliant. And Sancho's goal, I think me and Ham talk about this all the time. He just needs to stop that dummy, man. He's just embarrassing too many people with that dummy. Like, it's disgusting.
As long as he's doing something with it, because as long as he's doing something with it, so that's the main focus. But solid game. People put in work. I'm guessing a lot of people are going to be tired tomorrow. Sort of agree with Ham. I can accept Martinez getting cramp, but not Varane. You didn't move around the pitch that much, but obviously maybe he hasn't played much football, so that's why. So that's why. But the guy's putting a shift, and hopefully that's something to build on. And hopefully we bring in a couple of players in that can also play the same football. It'll be quite interesting to see what Casemiro does when he comes in as well. And we'll build from there, but I'm sure we'll touch on that.
Casemiro.
Yeah, we'll touch on Casemiro in a bit, but before we go, what your thoughts on like Malacius today, because he played?
I loved him. I loved him. Like literally, he's what I want in a player. Like as I said, I don't need superstars. My favorite player of all time is Andy Cole. You don't need to be a superstar to get love from me.
Andy Cole's a superstar, bro.
But you guys don't want to vote for him for Hall of Fame, so don't talk to me. You guys don't want to vote for him for Hall of Fame, so I don't want to listen to no one.
Bro. He scored 187 league goals, bro. That's superstar status right there, bro.
One penalty, just to clarify.
And one penalty.
We have to make sure we always put that in.
He's a superstar, bro.
But I just want you to do work in it, and he put in that work. Even when he missed stuff, he got up, continued. He was that man's gonna be tired tomorrow. He's gonna be tired tomorrow, and I love that he put in a shift. I'm very happy with that. Yeah.
Now I agree. Like he definitely put a shift. Technically, they're gonna demand a lot more from him moving forward. Technically, but in this sort of game, like you just have to work hard. And defensively, he was solid today. But obviously, with me, that's just my personal thing from defenders. I just don't like defenders sliding too much. But in this sort of game, at the same time, you probably need it. You need that grip in a derby like this. So, I was really impressed with him, because I told you I wasn't thinking he was ready, but I still don't think he's is there yet, but it's the thing. The good thing about him, he's still got time in it.
Yeah, he's not even showing me vibes that he's going to be a great defender, but he's showing me he's a very useful defender.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what
right.
if you're going to be useful. There are a couple of tackles or slides that Darlow made today that I wasn't really happy with. I was like, especially the one that he got the yellow card in. I was like, you didn't need to make that.
Yeah, that one was just stupid.
Just stupid.
Yeah,
you didn't need to make that. So things like that. But I think Malacio, he tempered his tackles. Didn't time all of them correctly, but even when he didn't, he recovered. So I was happy with that. I'm not too sure how much he can grow technically. One thing's clear is that Liverpool their passing's just 100 times better than us.
Yeah.
Right. I still don't associate Man City with the passing, but Liverpool showed that their passing's 100 times better than us, because there's times we got the ball and we passed it and we lost it. But because everyone was on a shift, it wasn't too bad. But Liverpool was still slipping the ball around, but they weren't doing what they needed to do around the goal, and they were still missing things, which I'm grateful for. Yeah, like Drew, you out there? Thank you.
Yeah, they'll say like just before we move on to Ham, I don't think Liverpool was at their best today, but then when a top team is not at their best, this is what you want to do.
100%.
You want to take advantage of it. The last thing you want is Liverpool not to be out at their best and then come and get an easy game out of Trafford. So, but yeah, I'll take it. What are you saying, Ham? Again?
I thought United were good, man. I thought United were good. First half, really good. I think the tempo was set from Bruno. Bruno's performance off the ball was top. But I think if I'm a United fan, or if I'm Eric Ten Hag tomorrow, and I bring the boys in for training and we watch the game back, I don't really tell them well done. I don't really give them a pat on the back. I kind of just tell them this is the basics. You guys, on the ball, you wasn't amazing, but without the ball, that is the bare minimum that I expect from any guy that wears a Man United shirt, that gets paid the money you get paid. You pay for one of the biggest clubs in the world. That running stats and everything you've done is fantastic, but also bear in mind, you're not going to play teams like Liverpool, that you can look better in games like that, because you're going to play against a team that's going to keep the football. On the eye test is going to show, he's running around, so he's working hard. But that's what the game demands. You have to, because you don't have a lot of the ball. But then 60% of the league, 70% ain't going to play like that. But they're going to try and play like that, but not be as good as Liverpool. So what do United do in the next 35 games in the league when you got to play teams like West Ham, like Southampton, or someone like that? How does Ten Hag's tactics come to play then? Because obviously it looks like he's got the boys on slide with the running, but you could just say it's a big game. It's a big game, a lot of pressure. So there was a lot of enthusiasm running through the boys. So I don't want to take nothing away from United, because I thought the performance was good, but I thought that was like a base. It's like a base, and if I'm United or a fan or a player, even if I'm a player and I'm looking at the boys tomorrow and I'm saying, yeah, well done, boys, we won. But to be fair, that's like the bare minimum. We got to keep the fans in it, especially if it's at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
But then I want to see more on when they have the football. How do we improve? How do we get better? How does this United team play when they have to break teams down, when their counter-attack isn't on the cards, because the team is playing a lot deeper? We saw how you guys struggled against Brentford and Brighton. And you're gonna play more teams like that than you're gonna play Liverpool in the Prem, because obviously everyone's not as good as Liverpool and City. So it's interesting to see how you guys play in that game. But using this game in isolation, I thought United were really good. When I was watching, I thought, yeah, that was compact, solid. But we've all played in games like that, where we're playing a team that's better than us, but at the end of the game, we are huffing and puffing, because we know we put a fucking shift in. And I thought another thing that was good was when you had the ball. I think Jamie Carragher said, I never agree with Jamie, but in the first half, looked like every time you turn them over, you look like you could score. And that's a good sign. That's a good sign. If we are going to play on the counter and we're going to have less of the ball when we do have it, are we making our transitions quick? Are we making the right decisions? And are we getting in? Or are we, the end result, is it a shot on goal? Is it a big chance? And I thought United were good in that aspect. I thought the front boys were brilliant. Bar Elanga, he's got to score that, but fair enough, he come off after 45 minutes. But he's got to put that away. I thought when Martial come on, he done what he had to do for 45 minutes as well, so I thought he was good. But I thought Rash was amazing in his output, his running stats, as well as on the ball. Jaden was Jaden. He's king chop. That chop that he does is, he sells anybody with that chop. They asked him about it in the interview, and he just said, "Yeah, I just chopped my man, and then obviously I didn't know that I had." but that chop will do anybody, because he's that close to goal. You automatically think he's going to shoot. So I've got to throw my body in front of it.
You have to,
But Jaden's too clean and too smooth with it. He already knows that you're going to slide, so he's just going to chop you. And then the finish was nice. I don't know what Van Dijk was doing. Looked like he was playing like musical statues or something. Like he's just standing there with his hand behind. My brethren put in our group, he looked like he was getting arrested. And I would just stand there with his hand behind his back, like, bro, you got. That's why I'm happy that James Milner batted him up, and James Milner was batting him up for the whole game because VVD was like, but there's certain things you're doing today. He's moving pants, bro.
And I think that's the issue. You get some players that feel as if they're too composed in it, like they're
to the words I literally
like I'm
that.
too cool in it. But no, fam. Like obviously, there are gonna be times for that, and there's times where cool head is needed. Not that you need to put your body on. He was just like
God bless
this
you.
Guy Robertson's doing this work.
Yeah. God bless you. You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. There's
bro,
moments where you just have to get dirty. Bro. Like go straight to the ball. Why you just literally?
My man's acting like I've got dinner next. Why you allowed
James Milner to? So like that's why I think James Milner was probably pissed because the time that James Milner took to get there, you were there already, but you just go straight to the ball. Don't stand
just
there.
Just leaning
and like you're trying to look pretty sometimes. Just get yourself there.
Acting like he's going for dinner after and doesn't want to shower.
And he just didn't want to get his shirt dirty.
That
was poor.
So I can see why Milner was pissed. Like, so. But I was happy about that. In terms of what you said, I agree with everything you were saying, Ham. In terms of obviously, I think the key thing for me this season, never be too high, never be too low. There's only one game at the end of the day. But in terms of what's saying, in terms of like us gotta be better with the ball, we're gonna play a position where it's not gonna be like Liverpool, fair enough. But I think, I just said, in this game in isolation, we just needed anything. We needed anything to lift up the spirit, and we got to build on for this anyway. Obviously, the manager, like I heard his interview after the game, he wasn't excited. He said that I need this every game. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
He wasn't trying to make it seem as if like, oh, I think we're still far from it. Like, we just need anything to lift the spirit, and the best win will be a derby win against Liverpool. Nothing better than that. We ain't beating them God knows when. So, like, we need this. Like, so whatever happens from there, we still need to build. And I hope, like I said, fans shouldn't get too high because it is only one game, man. Liverpool weren't at their best, but the great thing about us is that we capitalize on Liverpool not being at their best. So, yeah, we'll take it, man.
You know, one more thing, just quickly before move on, or you guys can say something after, was I think for Ten Hag, it's always good to have leverage, and it's always good to have money in the bank, innit? And I think for the fact that the win come the way it come, and everything he's changed was right. So no playing out the back, that worked all game. So we're just going long, we're going direct, we're playing on the transition. We're gonna play Marcus through the middle, that worked. There's another thing that and there's changes as well. Maguire's coming out, like you said, Tom. Varane's coming in. Luke Shaw, you're going out. Malacia's coming in, and both are brilliant. Malacia was brilliant. Ade touched on it already. Varane was vintage Varane, able to play from the back, see everything in front of him. Nothing really went in behind him.
Yeah.
And I think defenders like Varane, like myself as well. Tom's faster than me, so Tom's okay with that. But people like myself, I don't want things going behind me. I'm not the quickest in it, so I will always look better when everything's in front of me because I can engage, I can step forward, I can anticipate. I'm good at that. I can break things up, and I fought for Varane. So I think all the decisions that the manager made, dropping Fred, playing McTominay, none of us here are McTominay fans, but we could say he had a steady Eddie game. He didn't do nothing wrong. So all the decisions were fantastic. Bruno being captain, Bruno led by example. So I think for him dropping Ronaldo and still winning as well. So I think for Ten Hag, it was because you could have won today and scrappy. Liverpool could have batted you. You lot could have got a 1-0 win. It wouldn't have felt as good as I'm assuming it feels for you guys, because it felt like we played well. It wasn't just Liverpool was shit. We actually played well. So I think credit goes to the manager for everything he done was right today.
Yeah, definitely. Just talking on. Is there anything else you want to touch on, Ade? In the game that you think we missed out?
Not off the top of my head, but yeah, I thought the boys. I was happy for Martinez as well. I think he gave really assured performance.
He was my man of the match. He was my man of the match.
Extremely assured performance. So yeah, it's good to see that, because obviously a couple of games they'll say, "Oh, he was never." I'm just like, shut up, fam.
Yeah, everyone.
I would have loved to have seen him against Nunes, but obviously Nunes didn't give us the opportunity, and his idiot got sent off. But I would have loved to seen him against Nunes. I feel both of them could have got sent off still.
That's it. Because the truth is, like, obviously he's short, cool, but we've seen, like, regardless of whether he's short or not, players still need time to adapt to Premier League. So how are you gonna, within 2 weeks, just because he's short, the world's turned upside down?
He was brilliant. He was my man of the match today.
So looking forward to the next few games. Hopefully Southampton next. We'll see how that goes. We've got 2 away games next, so be interesting to see how we go with those.
Yeah, I think that's just before we did, that's the important thing is like how we approach the next couple matches. Like Southampton obviously are not going to have as much ball as Liverpool. So what do we do when we're in position? So it's like it's important.
We say that, maybe they will.
Yeah, it's true though. You never know. But you know what? At this rate, is just I think from what I've seen of the manager so far, he just seems like a sensible guy. He has certain ways that he wants. Obviously, I think is ultimately how he wants to play is kind of quite similar to how City plays. But you can tell he's willing to like make changes for the short term in order for us to get us through the short term. In order,
and you know that's all I beg for.
Yeah.
Remember last season and even last week when I was like, I as much as I'm not opposed to playing out the back, I swear to you guys, I'm not opposed to it. But when it don't make sense, don't do it. That's all I ask.
Or when you can't do it.
Or when you can't do it.
So for me, I wouldn't like how you guys play today. I don't want my team to play like that. So I don't want my team to go route one all the time. Because for me, I want control all the time, innit? So if my goalkeeper's lumping it, and De Gea is not the best of his feet anyway, so he's not really accurately finding anybody. It's more like hit and hope. Whereas I know Random's got it. We can play through Saliba, through Gabriel, through Zinchenko. We can play it out. But I think, like you said, you hit the nail on the head.
We don't have the capability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just in isolation, this Liverpool game, we'll go in long and we're going to play it off the second balls, and that's how we're going to win the game.
And that's what I appreciate. And it's about being sensible. You know what I mean? You have to sacrifice the short term in order for the long term. You know what I mean? And until he gets his players in, because we need to understand all these players are not his players. So you can't change. So you just be sensible, and he's made sensible decisions so far. You can't really knock him, like taking Harry Maguire out, deciding not to play from the back, because he could be stubborn. He could say, "No, we're gonna have to play from the back," and then we play right into Liverpool.
That stubbornness doesn't get to you, but that doesn't get you nowhere. Because what's it called? Even just watching the game, right? We still lost the ball a lot. The good thing that we had was that Eriksen and Bruno can play that one-time pass, like into the channels. But in terms of like intricate passes, like Martinez could do it, but a lot of the others were just giving the ball away.
And the United players are used to that. United players are more used to this style. So I'm sure when Ten Hag got them on the training pitch, some of them were just like, yes, this is what we know.
This is what Ole did. This is what Ole did. This is what Ole,
Ole and Mourinho, this is what they went. We feel comfortable with this. Are we going long, boss? We're going long. Yeah. Great.
Done channels, thanks.
And I think you got it right. I think Eriksen and Bruno they were finding that balls in between the lines, in between like middle Liverpool midfield, so we were able to cross, get into the forward a lot quicker than usual. You know what I mean? They didn't need. So I think the kind of what you were saying about Liverpool needed 2 passes to make those kind of balls, whereas them guys were doing it with 1. You know what I'm saying? So if you can get the ball to them quicker as soon as possible, and them guys had the ability to. Although I don't like it when Bruno loses it, this is why I said overall as a footballer I prefer Eriksen, because Eriksen will look after the ball a lot better than Bruno. And his pass succession will be probably better than Bruno. So they'll figure something out.
Yeah, on another day, Liverpool could have punished us, but I thought they were making the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did well overall, so I can't complain.
No, I agree. We're just gonna touch on the 2 more things United related. Anyway, obviously Casemiro came out during is it before the game that they announced it?
Before the game,
before the game.
They really were trying to get the crowd going before the game. They were trying their best. They didn't want no Glazer chance during the game. So I'll share my thoughts on Casemiro anyway. Obviously, just taking the numbers away from it. I'm just Casemiro as a player first and foremost. I'll take Casemiro as a top defensive midfielder. If in his position in the world, you can argue like top 3 in that position in the world, if not top 5. Like it depends. It's up for debate, but I think top 3. It's fair enough to say like Casemiro in that position. But then when you factor in the age and in terms of like the desperation buying and so forth, and how much we're giving him. Yeah, I can understand it potentially could be a desperation buy. I can understand that if you add the numbers in, there's a lot going into a 30-year-old. But if there is a player that I want that to be on, it would be Casemiro. Like I would take Casemiro as a top player. How it fits in the system, obviously that's for the manager to figure out. We know Casemiro's strength. He likes to break up play. His pass range is not the greatest, but it's fine anyway because I still think we need one more midfielder. If we can get like play like Tillemans, I don't feel it's Tillemans' favorite. Arsenal favorite to get Tillemans. But if you get another top midfielder that's good with the ball, so if you've got ball playing midfielder like Bruno and Eriksen around him, I think that will work. I think honestly that will work. So yeah, I'll definitely take Casemiro. I'm not down about that signing whatsoever. Like the numbers, like even if he gives us like but he's got to perform though. Like I hope he break out. I want him to come and perform. And he's obviously said it himself. I know that people have been talking about the money that he's getting, but when he's come out and said that look, I could have left Real Madrid years ago if it was because of the money, but he genuinely wanted to come to United. But yes, everyone's gonna say that. But did you get what I'm
Standard.
saying? Yeah,
Standard.
everyone's gonna say that. But
if it wasn't for the money, you'd have said
yeah,
you don't need to pay me that much, uncle.
Yeah, everyone's gonna
don't need to pay me that much.
But I think his performance is what matters though. Like as long as he performs on the pitch and he gives me like 2 years for that, maybe like even 3, but 2, I'll take 2 years for that solid performance because I said like Eric needs players that can fulfill whatever plan he has in place. You know what I mean? So if Casemiro is a part of that plan, and we obviously clearly know that he wasn't his first choice, but it's not a bad second choice to have. You know what I mean? It's like Casemiro is a top player, it's not a bad second choice. Whether he's second or whatever, third, whatever it is a top player for me. But yeah, what are you saying, Ali?
So I went back to the group chat and on the 29th of March, 2021, SM asked a question about like who's like the most complete midfielder. And obviously you guys were giving your answers. I came in and I was like, obviously it's probably going to be one of those German lads. But right now, I'm also a big fan of Casemiro. So for me, I've been a fan of him for a while. I've been wanting him for a while. Not that I've been wanting him. I didn't think he would ever end up us. All the talk of his age does not bother me, right? Fernandinho played in the Premier League till how old? Like we've got a fair bit of time. He's come to do a job and he can do that job. He improves us. We've had to pay what we've had to pay. He improves us. Like the truth is he's not a player that we buy this season and then he's like a stopgap. Like the way Newcastle would have to buy is maybe they would have to buy players for like 6 months or a year until they can build stuff and then replace him. Casemiro's not going to get replaced, right? We might strengthen our midfield around him, but he's not going to get replaced, at least for the next 3 seasons. He's still going to be the go-to person in that defensive midfield position. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. They can call all the numbers. His age, 30 is not, I don't even see it as a big issue, in all honesty. The numbers, F it. Spend the money. We spent more money on shit anyway. So what's that? We've got a gold money tree that we just spend shit on anyway. So might as well continue. Spend the damn money. Spend the damn money.
But I think just before hand goes, I think another thing is because of the situation that Man United are currently in, and the fact that we lost our first 2 games, it's like everyone's entitled to their own opinion, don't they? People are gonna like give opinion on football. That's what we're here for as fans and like pundits, whatever it is. But it's like every little decision United made, it's like everything is scrutinized to the T. It's like it's scrutinized to
it's only the wages. It's only the wages.
It's scrutinized to the T. Like I can understand people talking about the age and whatever, but you can't doubt what type of player the guy is. Do you know what I mean? Like this is one of the top players in that position in the world. Like whether or not I think we sat here a while ago saying that we can't attract big players. Whether it is here because of the money, whether it is how we got him here. It's a top talent at the highest level.
I want to see how they play, right? Because you can be a top talent if they don't play in your right position.
Exactly. Yeah, and
you can look like a twat.
Yeah, and that's what I said. It also depends on how Ten Hag uses it. Let's see what Ten Hag does. How it's important. you're not gonna go and spend that kind of money on the player if you don't have any. Well, you say that anyway, but anything can happen. Let's just wait and see. But
I was about to say, why are you saying?
yeah, you say that anything
Why are
can
you
happen.
saying?
But like, yeah, how he uses it is very important. I think that's probably the key thing. Like all the money and that goes out the window. Though. If he used well and he plays well, then people forget about the numbers. All of a sudden, everyone will start saying he's a bargain. If he doesn't, then obviously we know what we're gonna get. Or he's getting they're paying so and so for a 50-year-old or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's only the wages I don't agree with. But obviously, once you've set that precedent that you're gonna spend cash on wages, then it's hard to get away with it.
We're desperate now. It's a desperation move. I'll be honest, it's a desperation move. But I'll take that desperation move.
I don't think it's a desperation move though. But why is it desperation move?
No, because of the numbers. No, it's because of the numbers. But there's a lot.
The numbers is too mad, man.
It's the numbers.
Yeah, to me, the salary is what's mad, right? I don't really the transfer price is a lot because it's 30, but realistically, 50 is not a bad price for someone that you're saying's won 5 Champions League. Like he's 30, he's not 85. That's the reality. But it's the salary that's my issue because the salary is an ongoing cost, and it's not just the base salary. You're gonna have to pay employers tax as well. You're gonna have to do some pension contributions as well. That's when it becomes a bit too ridiculous. You can see I work in tax in it, but that's when it becomes a bit ridiculous. The one-off fee is small compared to the ongoing cost.
What you guys got him on a 4 to 5 year deal?
Yeah, 4 to 5. But I was a Hazard when he went to Real Madrid. 28. I was as now.
He was. Yeah, he was bored reaching those ages.
Yeah,
as
well. Similar to that.
Yeah, and Hazard had switched off the light when he left Chelsea. Switched off that light.
Hazard was 29 or something like that when he went to Real Madrid, and a year younger, and they got him for 120 million.
And Hazard works more. He needs to be more fluid than Casemiro does.
Yeah, and his wage was a lot higher. Obviously, not trying to compare, but I'm just trying to. Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
Go on, Han. What are you saying? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, you guys have pretty much said everything I would say. I don't really want to repeat what you're saying. In terms of the desperation move, 100% agree with that. Is it a money grab? He'd be lying if he said it wasn't. He's 30. Man United are giving him the biggest payday he's ever going to get. No one else is going to pay him that. But no one else is going to pay him that because of consequences. No one else is in dire need, as like United are in dire need after the 2 games we've seen and not being able to get Frankie and the Rabiot deal falling through. So it's like, okay, cool. What can we get next then? And it's like, okay, we can get a 30-year-old Casemiro. He's won 5 Champions Leagues. It's a brilliant side at Real Madrid. He could have won Champions League again this year. He could win the league again this year. How do we get him out of there? We'll pay you this. I will almost double your salary. Okay, big man. What are you getting paid here? 100 and something. I'll pay you close to 300, bro. What are you saying, bro?
That is my issue.
And we'll do it for 4 to 5 years. And you think my man looked at the piece and said, I'm gonna stay here for Champions League. They don't even play Champions League, big man. He said, I don't care. I am Brazilian. And them man have just got Camavinga and Tchouaméni that are probably going to take my place in a year or 2 anyway. So let me go United. Let me grab this 4 or 5 year contract. I'm only going to play well for maybe a year or 2. I'll be 32, 33. Them man still have to pay me them big wages. So I think on the financial side, it's a mad thing. But I think if we're just looking at the player, he's a good player. He's a good player. I would love to see what he looks like without the 2 that are either side of him. Because the 2 that are either side of him, Kroos and Modric, I think are fantastic players. Fantastic midfielders. So I like to see what he looks like with other midfielders because he plays in a position where he's reliant on his midfielders being good. Because as Tom said, his passing range ain't great. He ain't really gonna pass it. He ain't really gonna pass it through the line.
That's not what we're signing for. Definitely
yeah. And I feel like Ten Hag wants a player like that. That's why when Ten Hag gave the interview, just like there's only a few players in the world that can play in this deep line role that can pass through line. And that's why he really wanted Frankie. But Casemiro is nothing like Frankie. So it'd be interesting to see how that works. Interested to see if you guys get any other midfielders to go along with him. I know he likes Fred a lot, obviously, from the national team. But I don't think that works if they play Casemiro and Fred.
I
don't think that works. So that's why for me, as a rival fan, I don't look at it and think, oh my God, they got Casemiro. Because for me, it's still not enough. Because I've seen the player play. And I think if they add stuff around him, other midfielders get like another 2. And then maybe I can feel, okay, cool. If Casemiro's at the base and he's got another midfielder that's a functional 8, then he's got another midfielder that can do this. Then Eriksen's in the wings as well. Then cool, now we're cooking. But if it's just Casemiro, then I think, good player.
That's the discussion me and Tom had on Saturday as well. I was like, I don't feel Casemiro's a replacement for not getting the young in it. Casemiro's a buy, but we still need another midfielder.
Yeah.
That's just my view. They are not the same in any type of way. Casemiro can't go too far up the pitch, or else he's gonna get punished. Like watching McTominay run, like the times McTominay was far forward today, I can't see Casemiro doing that too often. Especially if we bring back in the Premiership, and also especially if we bring back Maguire, and it just generally in the Premiership, because the forwards will leave him. He's not catching anyone. He's not catching any of these wingers in the Premier League. If Damari Gray would leave him for dust, so it would be interesting to see, because obviously they need him at the base. He's not going to move much, but then someone else to carry the ball up. So yeah, be interesting to see these last week or so.
Yeah. I just think it's important to see what is how the manager uses them. That's the key thing, isn't it? And if he has a plan in place and it works, then great. You look back at it and think, what a great signing. But as a player, just isolating the player, forget the numbers around it. I think he's a top player. So based on what he does in the world, no one there's not much in the world that can do what Casemiro does. So yeah, and I'm talk about. So just that you touched on the two. A lot of people argue the two either side of them and Real Madrid are great. Yeah, they were great. But when them two were playing by themselves, they didn't do anything. They had to put Casemiro in there to stable that Real Madrid team.
He was there for that balance.
It was there for that balance. It was there for a reason. Yeah. So them two, they were great. But they were, Real Madrid, they were running all over the Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Until he was put into that middle of the park. So
important.
Them two were great. He's just
it's a team game.
Great.
It's a team game.
Yeah, so it's just about what you put next to him. So if you put great footballing players around him,
and we've said that before. It might be the shittest player that makes a team like one of the ones that we look at and say, actually, is this the best team we've ever seen? It might be just that one player because they serve a function.
You look at the Real Madrid teams from back in the day, they had all the Galacticos and they had to go get Makelele. And Makelele had to sit at the base before Zidane and Figo and Raul and Ronaldo and Roberto Carlos could fly down and Saga to go fly down the right back. They had to put Makelele in there. Yeah. And then once they got him in.
Cool. Just before we jump off United, first of all, before we actually talk about Ronaldo's Instagram post, did you see the situation on Sky today when he came over and he shaked Gary Neville's hand and then Roy Keane, and then he ignored Jamie?
Yeah, I loved it, man.
That was too funny.
I loved it.
Too funny. All right, cool. Let's just go on to just quickly touch on it because we still got going to Arsenal. What are your thoughts when were you aware of these posts, Addy? Where you put on Instagram?
Obviously Ham saying it, then I saw it after that. So yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was Ham or somebody said it.
Yeah, I think Ham said it. Yeah, because it was Ham that told me first. I think he's basically just saying that for just for the listeners, just in case you don't know. I don't know whether he commented on someone else's post. I think he commented on someone else's post, and he said that he's got a note. He's got a pen and paper, is taking notes that there's been so many stories, hundreds of stories have come out. Only 5 people have been right. But in 2 weeks, when he does an interview, he's going to tell the truth. So basically, that's what he says. So what are your thoughts on it when that?
What the fuck are you saying? Say something. You're not saying something. Choose one. I'm like, why even waste your time to type? Why don't you just wait for the 2 weeks and then we'll just have the interview? Like I think it's just another story that didn't need to happen. In all honesty, if you've got something to say, it's either you say it now. If you're not going to say it now, wait for 2 weeks. You didn't need to defend yourself. Same way AJ didn't need to pick up that mic. You hear me? Stop allowing everyone to.
Where's my cousin Benga? Where's my cousin Benga? Where's the man them in Reading jail?
I'm pretty much on the same page as you. But and to be honest with you, in 2 weeks' time, you pretty much know what he's gonna say is gonna be one of the otherwise. Either the transfer window is gonna be over. So if he stays at United, he's gonna say, I've never wanted to leave in the first place. All this was lies. If he goes, then I've always
They
told them,
punished me.
I've always told them I was going to leave. They knew the plan was for me to leave.
Mm.
Do you get what I mean? So, and if he does say is the one I wouldn't want to hear is I've always said I was going to stay because we know that's a lie, innit? Because we know that they've been putting you out as if you was at the red light district. Like his agent
Just in the shop window.
Is in the shop window. Bro, we could be Ronaldo's at every window. If you've been in
like big booty black girls.
If you've been in Amsterdam, you probably see Ronaldo at every single window you be. So it's like
just banging on the window.
So like that's the one I wouldn't want to hear. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're gonna say that, I want receipts for us to like see, like to confirm that what you're saying is true, because we know that's a lie. We know like they've been like pimping you out all over the place. They've been asking if they weren't you. So just say the latter and just say, look, I've always said I was gonna go. It was an agreement between me and Man United. So it was just delayed. And we'll take it as that, and then you go. It's as simple as that. But all this, we'll find out the truth, and it's another side show that as we spoke about.
You're a big boy. You're a big boy.
We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. We just don't need a side show. Like the team is struggling enough as it is. Like thankfully, like we've lifted the spirit now with today's win, but we just don't need it, man. Like
he looked vexed on the bench though. Yeah. He looked vexed.
And one thing he looks vexed. Like, it's good though, but he's the only one I think out of all the players that because I thought a lot of the United players I follow them on our Res Divider page. A lot of every game we lose, they always come out and say we're gonna fight harder. I've noticed that this time around, no one's came out and said anything, and I think the manager's got something to do with it, because the manager at the end of the game, he said, look, I told them they need to stop talking and just act.
But that means they ain't got good friends. It's like AJ, they ain't got good friends. Their wives ain't doing their jobs. Like, turn to your husband and say, shut up, stop typing bullshit on Instagram.
Every time we lose, they come out and say the same thing. We apologize, we'll do better next time. But I think the manager touched on at the end of the game to say, look, all I want you guys to do is act, like stop talking and act. And pretty much that's what they did today, innit? So but with Ronaldo, we just don't need it. We don't need a saga of like, if you're gonna go, just go, and then let us deal with whatever we have left. And if you're gonna stay, you have to understand, and I respect the manager, that you're not gonna be a part of the plans every single game. That there will be games like today that you sit on the bench, and there will be games like where you'll be needed to start. So, and I think that's the only way we can use him. Like, that's the only way we can use Ronaldo throughout the season. He's not going to start every single game. Yeah. And if he can't accept that, then
there are going to be teams he can't play against. It's just not going to work.
They should just let him go. Like, do you know what I mean? They should let him go. It's like his ego's getting the best of him, innit? I can understand it's hard for him, innit? Like, his selfishness is what made him so great at the end of the day. But you're 37 years old now, so you have to do more than just scoring goals for us. You have to be able to do more. If you can't do that, then we'll just call it a day, man. What are you saying, Ham, when you saw it?
Yeah, I don't really care. I ain't really got a problem with it, to be fair. Just speaking his truth, innit? Probably heard a lot of bullshit. And he's human, innit? He's human. So if I was a footballer, I'd be lashing out every week, bro. If I hear anything in the paper from Simon Jordan or Gabriel Ponla trying to speak on my name, when he's arguably one of the greatest players to ever play the game, bro. He's heard so much shit, and he probably just couldn't take it no more. So he was like, fuck it, I'm setting the record straight in 2 weeks' time. I'm just putting you lot on notice. So for me, I'm all for players like speaking their truth, innit, and speak out when they want to speak out, innit, because that's what we want, innit. We want transparency, innit, from our players. And you don't want like the book standard answers and stuff like that. So he's human, innit? He's feeling it, he's hearing it, and he's just like, no, I got to put it. I hear what you're saying, though. He could have just come out in 2 weeks and just deaded it then. But he's human like us, innit? In that moment, that's what he wanted to say. That's what he wanted to tweet in that moment. Like, it's too much cap on my name, so like.
Well, he didn't even tweet himself. He got his assistant to tell the Instagram person to type it.
Yeah, it's calm, though. It's calm. He might have sent them a draft, innit? He might have sent them a draft, and then they changed it like grammar-wise and whatnot.
You know that's gone through like 5 layers of people. before he
Yeah,
came out on
yeah,
Insta.
definitely.
Probably phoned Hulk Mendes. Mendes probably said, "Don't do it." He said, "Fuck you, I pay you." So I'm putting it out there. So.
He said, "Junior, how do I do this?"
Yeah. But I guess it. We all look forward to it now, innit? I can't wait for it. I can't wait. Like I was telling Tom on the phone, I don't know whether he's gonna do a pre, like he's gonna do it by himself. Is he gonna do a sit down interview with someone? Is it gonna be from someone from United? Is it gonna be from someone outside of United? So I guess we're all gonna tune in whenever he does speak, innit? So that's what I'm looking forward to.
No, cool. Yeah, that's enough of United, man. What for now, anyway. Is to be United has been dominating this podcast for a while, but thankfully we won this week.
Better reasons.
For better reason. Obviously your boys played on Saturday.
Yeah, baby.
100% record, the only team in the league. To win
it's not easy. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. It's not easy.
To get 3 out of 3. And just looking at you guys' fixture, like the game just does favor you, especially when you're like a hot streak of form. Like obviously the only thing that can go against you guys now is just to get the wrong injury at the wrong in the wrong position. But apart from that, the team looks on fire. What are you saying?
Yeah, man. Same again. Same as I said in the last 2 weeks, man. The boys are good, man. The only thing that today was, the other day was, we was good, but we was good for a longer period than we was in the last 2. So the first game, first half an hour against Palace, quality. Leicester, good first half, bits and bobs, and then Bournemouth, complete domination, complete control. Maybe 1 or 2 headers from Kiefer Moore, but he's heading it from the edge of our box. So they wasn't there. What I noticed was their fullbacks, even in the second half when they tried to put us under pressure, they couldn't put us under pressure high up on the pitch because of our press. So whenever they were crossing it from like the halfway line. And Kiefer Moore, fair enough, that's what he's there for, to head it. And that was probably the only thing they had to deal with. Lloyd Kelly's long throws, but the boys dealt with that. So the first half, I don't really need to say much about it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to see. For me, especially how I see football, how I want my teams to play, how I want to play. It was just beautiful to see. Complete domination, complete control. Reset. And that's one thing I loved about us is I hate teams that think that with every attack we have to score. I don't play like that. I don't want my team to play like that. We don't have to score every attack. What we have to do is keep the ball for as long as possible. And the more we keep the ball, the more chances we create. The more chances we create, the more chances we can get a scoring. So I love that about us. It was like if it weren't going for, we weren't forcing nothing. Just recycling the ball and start again with Gabby, Saliba, Zinchenko. It's not going to Martinelli, cool, we'll start again. Recycle, Partey, Odegaard, Saka. Not going for, cool, we'll recycle. And we've done that. Our goals are lovely. And funny enough, yeah, like I swear to God, yeah, whether you believe me or not, yeah, literally Saturday before the game, I was taking a shit. And I was talking to myself, as you do, in your head, you might, you're thinking about the game ahead, innit? So I'm just like, so we've done well in the first 2 games. And everyone's done well. Saka's had a slow start. And I literally said, but so what do you want from this game, Rohan? We're going to win. And I said, you know what? Just want a massive performance from my captain. I just want a massive performance from Odegaard, just to shut the fans that think, oh, well, he hasn't scored or assisted though, so he's not playing well.
The
people
stats
like that.
people.
Yeah. And I know I've watched him, innit? And I've watched the 2 games, and he's been good. He ain't been fantastic, but he definitely hasn't been shit.
I love him.
Yeah. And you know what I think of him, and he's the knitter, innit? He keeps everything ticking over for us. So, and in less than like 20 minutes, he got 2 goals. So I was happy, because obviously I was happy we got the win, but I was happy with what I asked for. I got in Odegaard, and it wasn't just his goals. The through ball that they gave to Jesus that they disallowed for offside, lovely. The weight on the pass was lovely. All the boys were good again. Jesus got man of the match. Don't know if he should have got man of the match, but he was brilliant. And yeah, man, it was just good to see, man. It was just good to see. And another thing that was good to see was the subs that we brought on as well. I'm saying, obviously, we still want to add 1 or 2. I think if we add 2, we got a really, really strong squad. We add 2 because we're still able to bring off the bench. I think Sambi come on, Eddie come on, ESR come on, Tierney come on. I think Tommy come on as well, and Fabio Vieira still hasn't played. And obviously we still got a man like Rob and El Neri who hold us down when there's injuries. So yeah, the boys are looking good, man. And obviously it's Bournemouth, innit? So you can't really get carried away. I think City slapped them up 4-0. And we just came there and said, yeah, we're not as good as City, but we're heading in that direction. Yeah, we're heading in that direction. So we're going to come there, we're going to slap them up as well. And we did that. Complete domination, complete control.
Do you think Jesus' performances are affecting Saka?
No, I just think Saka's having a slow start because I don't know whether this is him, but he had a slow start last season and he carried us. And he's allowed to have grace. He's got grace on my side, innit? So you don't need to come out the block flying. I need him to perform when it's time to perform. And I think the link up with him and Odegaard is what I think Odegaard looks for Jesus before, whereas last season it was Laka there, innit? Man ain't looking for Laka. So man's looking for Saka.
Yeah, because I've been trying to look as well.
But do you think Saka's playing? I don't think Saka. I think Saka's have good games.
So that's not thing. I'm not saying he's bad.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not saying he's
no,
performing
not
bad. But I think it's gonna. I think Jesus favors the left. From what I've seen and the way he builds up football, it looks like he favors the left Martinelli side, which automatically means the ball's going to go more down that side. That's personally my view, as opposed to him performing bad.
Naturally, and Zena's on that side as well, isn't it? So Zena's on that side. The football's way going to be better on the left.
So
on the left hand side.
That was where I was coming from, basically.
Yeah. But for me, I think Saka have a slow start. But technically, if we just look at it from the bird's eye view, will he have a better season than last season? Hopefully, simply because us having Jesus occupies more defenders. See, there's more people worried about him. Whereas last season, Saka was getting doubled and triple teamed. You can't triple team Saka now because we'll just release the ball and Jesus is one-on-one with your centre back. And you don't want that smoke. Or Martinelli's on the other side, one-on-one. So Saka will have more time and space. Saka will always play better once he gets a proper right back behind him. I'll keep saying that. Because he's a good player, Saka. But he's not Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho on his day, Jadon Sancho's a better footballer than Saka, innit? Saka's a good player, innit? He's not a Vinicius Junior. He's not going to set the world alight by himself and take on 4 or 5. His thing is in tight spaces, he's good. And give and go and make the right runs.
Yeah.
And I think another level will be unlocked when we get a right back behind him where they play as a double act. And then I'm not concerned about him because, like I said, last season they started off slow.
Yeah. It was a good point though you made that because I thought you were touching on his actual performance, but I thought his performance was actually good. But yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, because I've been trying to watch the games and
I didn't really see it.
It's been a lot of focus on that left.
Even on Saturday, I just thought it was good. I thought the boy was good on Saturday. Like it was beating players. Like literally that guy who played left back, that black guy. He worked hard that day. One of those players I know that he's had a game. We're talking about Van Dijk getting dirty. This guy, he was on the floor a lot of the times. So I thought, Saka really gave him a whipping on that day. But I just think he just sees positioning sometimes. He probably because I saw, and you are right because now that you said that, I can picture a move. When I think it was Saka that actually tried to play Martinelli in, because it just tends to drift to the right, and then Martinelli is making a lot of those inverted runs into the middle. So I do see a lot of those runs made by Martinelli, but I think Saka's playing well. But the world we live in now, everybody just base football on stats, and if you haven't scored, if you haven't won assist, you're having a bad season.
They can start writing headlines about you, and it's a shame football's gone down that direction. Because obviously, even someone like Casemiro, they're talking about goal scoring. I'm like, why are you talking about that? Like, obviously, he still scores goals, but why is that even the topic of conversation? Like, we know what his role is. Why is that what we're focusing on? But it's the times we live in. So,
just a quick one.
Yeah, the white boys are going to be judged on that. Go on, sorry.
Just to touch on So I think it's been reported that Pepe is probably going to be going to Nice on loan.
They haven't finished paying for him, have they?
No. What'd you say there?
You finished paying for him?
But he can still go on loan now.
What are you trying to say, bro?
You should give him to you. Finish paying for him now.
Oh, bro.
Yes, I think he's going to go on loan. But then, and this is what I'm trying to say, sometimes it's just you take Pepe out, then all of a sudden you're light again in the front line, on the wing anyway, because obviously Martinelli and Saka starts, one of them drops off. Who do you bring in? I see that you are close, and apparently you do want Neto. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no problem. We only for me, it's only sensible we let Pepe go if someone's coming in. We're definitely bringing someone in. If we're not bringing someone in, we can't let Pepe go. It's that simple. Whether Arteta likes him or not, he's still got qualities of his own that he possesses. He's still a good football player. but we can't afford to be like, we're going into Europa League. We want to have a good run in the Europa League this season. We want to finish top 4. And we're going to need all the boys. Saka and Martinelli are still 2021. They're still young boys. They can literally go like that and go like this for 5, 6, 7, 8 games. And it will be completely understandable because they're young. So 100% we need another body if Pepe goes. And if it's Pedro Neto, if it's Jeremy Pino, whoever it is, it's fine. I'll be okay with that. I'll be okay with that. I like both players. I'll be fine with that. But only on the preface that someone comes in and Pepe can go to Nice. I don't like the fact that it's a loan. I just want him, if we're going to get rid of him, he's got to go. He's got 2 years left on his deal this year and another year. There's no point in loan. If we loan him now, we're going to get less for him next year. We're only going to have a year left. So a lot of our outgoings have been silly this summer, but I'm not really too pissed because the players just had to go and it's not my money, innit? So the players had to go. If we don't get nothing for Pablo Mari, if we tear up Bellerin's contract, if we don't get nothing for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, it's bad business on our end. But do I care? Not really, because I want the players gone anyway. So just get him out of it. But I don't like the fact that Pepe is on loan. I'd rather just get some money for him with 2 years left, rather than letting him go for a loan. Let's say he does do well or doesn't do well. He's only got a year left, and they say,
they're probably
we
not
was
going to
pay
sign
you.
him. Yeah, they probably won't sign him.
So it's bad business. But hey, if we get rid of him and we get another wide player, in, I'll be happy.
Did you watch the Villarreal Atletico game on the weekend?
Yeah, Villarreal won, innit? 2-0.
Yeah, that game was entertaining.
Yeah, he scored, didn't it? Yeah, Pino scored.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, bloody entertaining game.
Anything else on Arsenal before we move on? Do you want to touch on your centre back quickly, Saliba? Before.
I mean, Triple C is just a beautiful sight to see, man. He's a beautiful sight. He's a beautiful sight. I just can't wait to see him when we play City, when we play Haaland, when we play Liverpool, when we play Nunes, when we play. We go away to the bridge. I want to see him in the big games. I'm saying I seen him in the French league when he's played against PSG away from home, which is the biggest game he can play in when he's out there. And he's always acquitted himself well. He's played up against Mbappe and Neymar. He's done well. So I want to see him in the big challenges. I feel like Kiefer Moores and Jamie Vardy's obviously Jamie Vardy's a good player, and whoever and Palace. Who did they play through the middle? I think it was Mateta or Odward or someone. It wasn't really. So he's passed all these tests with flying colours. That's all he can do, innit? But the boy just looks so beautiful because it's like I like Gabriel a lot, innit? Like Gabriel a lot. He's my rugged defender. He's my Vidic. Saliba's my Rio. I'm not saying both of them are as good as them, but Saliba's just a better defender, better footballer all round in him. So if he can reach the levels that Gabriel set and surpass that, then we've got a fantastic pairing in the two of them. And they're so young and they're fit and they're agile and they can get across the place, and aerially they're good as well. They got everything they need to have to become modern day top centre halves, and it's just whether or not they fulfill their potential. But Saliba's taking it to like a duck to water. You would have thought he played with us last season, the season before. Like, you wouldn't believe he's 21. But yeah, and his goal, Zinchenko's reaction sums it up. Zinchenko literally put his hand on his head and dropped to his knees and said, "What the fuck did I just see? Did I just see my right foot is sent out back, whip it with his left foot, top hand corner on my days?" Yeah. And please spare a thought for me. I've had to watch Mustafi and Socrates and them man there centre back here. I get to watch Saliba and Gabriel. Please. This is amazing right now.
Why do you call him Triple C?
Cool, calm, and collected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool, calm, and collected. I was tweeting that when he was at Marseille, especially him and Guendouzi, just watching it. Bro, this guy's just clean, bro. Just clean. I know Gary got a bit excited when he said he reminds me of Rio, but I can see where Gary, but he's just kept that to himself. Because I've kept it to myself and I ain't said it out loud. I think he's like Rio. I don't want to. That's too much pressure on the boy, but that's why I said I want to see him when we play Haaland, when we go away to big boys, and hopefully we get Champions League football this year, and then we go Champions League next year, and just see if he keeps rising up. The levels are going to get better for him. If he's a French international, he's going to play for France. He's going to play against the top strikers in the world. So how does he play when the levels keep going up? The levels is better now than the French league. He's here. He's doing well. So we'll see what he does when we play against the big boys. But so far, so good, man.
Cool. Look, let's just before we jump off, we've got like 5 minutes or so left. Let's just touch on some of the other games. There were good games this weekend. Start off with Chelsea. It was a bad defeat for them yesterday. It was just like, it was bad. I don't know how many times I can say bad. I don't think it's enough. Enough.
Remember, I said this might be the season this guy goes. It might be that season.
Yeah, no, it's just
starting to lose the plot as well.
He's losing the plot because he came out afterwards saying he thought they played well. It's ridiculous.
Bro, I literally tweeted. I said, "What game was he watching?"
Bro,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. I was watching it. It was a terrible performance from them. And it was just they're just making stupid decisions. Like it was obvious that Koulibaly was going to get sent off too. Just like how the first yellow card, how you manage to put yourself in that kind of position just shows how the poor decision making, bro. Like you just don't do that. How you getting turned that easy? That yeah, I don't know, man. But obviously, look, it's only game 3 and there's still a long way to go. But I think it was just more the performance more than anything. Like it's all right losing, but not that kind of performance.
In the manner in which they lost, to who they lost, it's a bit, especially if you're a big boy in football. You're gonna lose the odd game by 1 goal. You wouldn't even expect by 2 goals, right? It's especially to the lesser teams, but to lose 3-0 is big. It's big. It's big.
No, that was terrible, but yeah, still game 3, but still see how they turn out. We go to City and Newcastle, another good game, 3-3. Haaland could have scored a lot more goals. What are your thoughts on Haaland not taking enough his chances?
It's surprising for me because I always associate Haaland with just being super clinical, and at his age that's what took me aback when I first saw him. It's just that he's so clinical for someone so young. He doesn't need many chances to score. He's like a 1 and 2 bang, and he's gonna score. So he's missed a few this season. That's like, bro. But I'm not gonna get on his back. It's a new league. He's learning the new players. But he's got 3 and 3. So man's nitpicking right now still. But he definitely could have. He definitely. If he had his shooting boots on properly, they probably would have won a game yesterday. As good as Newcastle were, but Newcastle were good. And just a moment of silence for that KDB through ball to Bernardo Silva. Just a moment of silence for that. Best player in the league, best midfielder in the league. That pass was just beautiful.
Oh, cool. I think with Haaland, for the fact that he doesn't touch the ball enough, he's got to be taking those chances though. Like you're not getting involved in the play. But I think what he did, he put KDB through what was it in the first half?
Too strong, man. People bouncing off him, bro.
I think I can't remember what defender it was. It was Willock that was trying to hold him. He just bounced off. He just bounced off him and he put him through. Apart from that, it don't really offer. Well, at the moment, anyway, they're still trying
the football's different.
It's very different. They're still trying to integrate him to the team, but he doesn't touch the ball enough. And I think Phil Foden, what he's doing is ridiculous, man. You can't do that 2 weeks in a row. Last week, you could have squared it for him. You didn't do it. Pep weren't mad at you. You do exactly the same. For a striker that doesn't touch the ball as much anyway, you got to get him involved in the game somehow.
Foden's like, F this, I've got a chance to score. I'm scoring.
Like, and then you give him that ball, it's 2-0, you're 2-0 up. Newcastle are not coming back from that. I don't know what's the matter with him. He's probably got a personal vendetta against him, man. You're not about to come here and ruin my wonder boy.
Just gotta get used to it, mate. You just gotta get used to thinking that there's a 9 in there. He's probably going through a goal and thinking that he's still playing with a false 9.
True.
There's no one in the box. I'm shooting. So that will come with training with more time. Where
they're bare players. They're bare players that even if they know that they've got a 9 in, they're still gonna shoot. Like you can see the goal. All of the City attackers are used to chipping in their fair share of goals.
Yeah,
it's a shot on target. They're just gonna take it. In all honesty,
but that's not what their manager wants them to do.
No, 100%.
That PlayStation goal, we're in cut it, bang.
Yeah. Pep don't care. Pep says, if you got a chance, score it, and that makes sense, right? Ultimately, the aim of if someone has a higher percentage of scoring, that's the route you take. But obviously, as footballers in the moment is what it is, and Haaland just has to get used to it because it is very different. I've been in that situation where I've played in teams that are free flowing and we're always moving forward, and then I've played teams that they think that they're Barcelona reincarnated and they just want to pass it until I am physically tired. Within one sequence of play, I've made 5 runs. by the time it gets to me, I'm tired, or my brain is not really there at that point in time because I've made 5 runs. So when you do finally release it, I'm not necessarily expecting it. So that I guess it will take a bit of time for him to adjust as well.
Of course.
I still do think, and I agree with you, I think he's clinical to an immense level. But incorporating that into the wider gameplay, I think it might take a bit of time.
What are your thoughts on like Newcastle so far? What Eddie's doing with them? Obviously, still in the 3 games. What is it? 2 wins or 1 win and a draw?
Brilliant job, man.
2 draws.
2 draws, yeah, 2 draws.
Yeah.
Brilliant job. Brilliant job, man. Yeah. Brilliant job.
Cool.
Brilliant job. And he's still gonna add more players as well. So yeah, he's doing a good job, man.
Let's go to your English midfield legends. Frank just about got a point, and Stevie got a lesson from
Big Will,
from Big Pat. And I think me and Adi was touching on this last week. We didn't know like Stevie's record was
horrific.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Should have stayed in Rangers, mate. It's horrific.
And then he even had the cheat to go and almost signed Ismail Assar and throw more money at the project until the deal broke down.
Bro, he's signed a lot of players though.
A lot of players. They've backed him with finances. But now records.
Palace, they got their ass handed to them.
Yeah.
They got their ass well and truly handed to them.
Yeah, no.
But big up Pat though, man. That's more on Pat. That's more not so
Pat.
Much Frank. That's more on Pat. Pat's doing a brilliant job at Palace. Brilliant job at Palace.
Man like Eze, they were all, and at least they're still coming back into the game. So there's only more to come from them. All of them. Yeah, it should be fun.
And then look, I think there's other games. I'm not sure there's any other like. Obviously, the Brighton and the Fulham and Brentford game was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one. But the last bit, we just
Mitrovic.
Well, we just finished off with my favorite guy. They went away to West Ham. And they're just handing them a beating. I just don't know what's going on. Like nothing phases for Brighton. Like, we saw our best player, but we're still gonna play the same. Like, I'll just bring someone else in.
But that's what you're trying to develop, right? You're trying to develop a system that even if you lose somebody, you get a competent replacement. They don't need to be a world beater, but a competent person that fits into the system we're playing. And nothing's changed.
And Leandro Trossard's goal, lovely. If we score that goal, City score that goal, Liverpool score that goal, they're gonna replay that massively. The way the flick round the corner from Pascal Gross is ridiculous, bro.
Because I know you're sad. I'm
trying
to fit in Trossard. You didn't get
him. Yeah. No, I brought him in now. I didn't bring him in this week, but I brought him in because he's like one of those players that I like. That he's not a star, but he is very good at what he does for the team he plays in.
He's a really good footballer.
Yeah,
really good
very good. Yes. So I'm a big fan.
Cool.
Looking sticky for a lot of managers and teams already. David Moyes, West Ham, Frank at Everton, and Stevie at Aston Villa.
And Brendan, we forgot to mention Brendan.
They lost again. Yeah.
I wasn't. Remember, I said I wasn't expecting them to hit Europe. Like I remember we said at the beginning of the season that they've still got the same players, but those players, their minds are not in the same place.
Yeah, that's
Fofana got dropped.
Yeah, that's what their minds are not in the same place.
I'll be honest with you. I was talking about. I can't remember who I was speaking to on Saturday. Like your 3 best players don't want to be there. So it's like it says a lot. What message are you sending across the rest of like the team if your 3 best players do not want to be there? It's just and then you're keeping them like. I think where Leicester might make the mistake is the fact that they try to hold on to them. Like what I would have because I think they've gone as far as they can with this team, and these players have got to move on. Like then the players are not stupid. You can't possibly get them more than the FA Cup. Like you've already got them. So now let them move on and just rebuild again. Like you've done well with your recruitment in the past. Why not sell this place for a lot of money? But the issue now is you're not short of time. You can't.
But I think the issue also is they've also been poor with their recruitment, right? So when they've sold the latest round of players for big money, they haven't recruited that well. The players that they brought in recently, is it like all them Sangare or
Yeah, that hasn't worked.
yeah, it
That
hasn't worked. A lot of them.
Bubakar, some more.
Like a lot of them actually haven't worked. So
Yannick Vestergaard.
yeah, so you had a lot of acquisitions that were top, like the team that won the league. But then once they started trying to, because what you do is that you try and push on from there, but they haven't really bought well on trying to push on from there. Maybe they've acquired 2 players that have improved them. The rest of them haven't, like Bano, them Mendy, Armity. Yeah, all those guys. It's just
he needs to start playing at Mate centre back.
And now they can't even buy. They can't buy players. They ain't got the money. So
Mate centre back.
Issue now.
I don't know who's worse, him or Eric Bailly, bro. Like he needs to stop playing centre back. I don't understand what he's thinking. Well, yeah, nah. They should have just cut their losses on at least 1 or 2 of them, and then just gone back. You can't hold it. It's hard to hold on to these players, bro. And the last thing you want is your best players in the change room saying they want to leave.
Just give us Tillemans and call it a day, man. I give a damn what they do over there, but just give us Tillemans. I need him playing for my team. I need him in my midfield, man. Let's call it a day, man.
All right, cool. All right, thanks. Well, anything else, boys, before we round it up?
Now, well done, boys. Well done for getting your first win of the season.
Cheers, mate.
Welcome to the party.
We like points. We like points.
You know, we like to arrive to the party late, but we're there.
Well done, boys. Well done. Good luck next weekend against Southampton away.
Southampton away.
Yeah, Southampton
Good
away.
luck. Good luck.
Cheers.
All right, no worries. All right, thanks people for listening. Please make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all the good stuff at Res Divided, and we'll be back next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.